Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD, and I'm coming at you guys with another HD commentary of two very good gamers here today. As usual, I always try to pick the best of the best. Well, this one is from IPL3 Atlantic City, and for those of you guys who may not know, IPL3 is an organization that I work for located in San Francisco. We held our first live event a month ago. It was October 6th through October 9th. And it was a great success. Yes, it was. We held it at Atlantic City, and this is one of the series of games that came out of it. Personally, I didn't cast this, so I figured it would be a good opportunity to go ahead and bring it back for you guys who may have not tuned in to watch this series of games. This is from the championship bracket, and it features Millennium Stephano here as the pink Zerg against his opponent Rain Kiwikaki. That's the yellow Protoss at the top right-hand corner. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this back for you guys, it's not because, you know, I don't have any replays to cast or anything like that. It's because this series of games was highly rated as one of the best games to come out of IPL3, and I haven't seen it yet. I didn't cast it, so I wasn't the one who actually cast this. So I'm really excited to be able to bring this for you guys and rebroadcast it for YouTube. If you guys get a chance, please check out IPL3 and all of its social media. You guys can find them at www.ign.com/IPL. You guys can find them on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Justin TV at IGN Pro League. Yeah, show your support, guys. I mean, it's the organization I broadcast for. They put in a lot of time, money, and hard work. Everybody in the office to kind of make this event happen, and as a result, these are the games that kind of came out. So, very excited. These two guys, obviously extremely talented as well. Let's talk a little bit about them. Oh, we already have Kiwikaki coming in here with a probe to block the hatchery from going down. That's just very, annoying play in general anytime the Protoss player does that to you. But let's talk about these two players. Kiwikaki qualified for this event through our online qualifiers, and he has been around StarCraft 2 for a very long time. The one thing that really impresses me about Kiwikaki, and oh, we have a little bit of fight to the death here. It looks like no one wants to pull away. Sometimes, though, with the drone, you don't really want to fight a probe headlong because of those fast regenerating shields. So he pulls away. But what was I saying? Kiwikaki, the thing that really impresses me about him is how he's able to kind of manage his time. Not only is he a professional StarCraft 2 player, but he's also a professional poker player. If you guys tuned into the World Series of Poker, I'm not entirely sure what episode he's on, but he actually plays in the World Series, and I'm pretty sure he played in the main event as well. So he's probably one of the richest guys to play StarCraft 2 and poker full time. So it's very impressive to me. Obviously, there's a lot of cross-connection between poker and StarCraft 2, the ability for you to kind of think, be aggressive at the right time, and really play against your opponent's mindset. You got to really know what your opponent's doing and how to kind of manipulate that to your advantage. So that's one thing that really impresses me about Kiwikaki as a StarCraft 2 player. Stephano, on the other hand, he's kind of taken the crown, so to say, of the Euro's best player. He kind of took that away from Nurchio, especially Euro's best Zerg, I would have to say, because now Stephano is pretty much widely regarded as probably the best Zerg, one of the best Zergs in the foreign region. He's just so talented, so good. So pitting these two players against each other, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen here. And honestly, anything can happen. The map is Shakuras Plateau. It's a big map. Both the players are actually looking to go for a macro style game here. So we already have Stephano kind of triple hatching. So he's got 2 expansions down already. Kiwikaki going with a Forge fast expand into 2 gates here, and this is something that Kiwikaki really does well. One little interesting tidbit is when Kiwikaki qualified for this tournament through the online qualifiers, almost every time he played against Zerg, he used the same exact build: Forge fast expand with the Nexus, and then he would throw down 2 gates immediately. And what he would do is chrono boost about 6 zealots out, move out with the 6 zealots, do a lot of damage to the Zerg's 3rd expansion, because Zerg doesn't really expect that many zealots, and there we can see he's doing the same build here. And then he transitions into a double Stargate, and it's very hard to deal with that, because you see all the zealots from a Zerg perspective, and it's like, oh, I gotta get all my roaches and Zerglings, and then the Void Rays come, and then you're in a lot of trouble. So Kiwikaki has a very distinct build when it comes to dealing with Zerg. I'm also going to be toying around with the camera aspect a little bit in this cast, because a lot less than I was before. I know a lot of people were like, HD, I don't want to see the camera, and then a lot of people were like, I love the new camera angles. So I'm going to try to show the camera angles during battles. I think that's going to be the most interesting thing. and I'll try to limit it to that. But yeah, that's that. And here comes those 6 Zealots. So they don't have +1 weapons, keep in mind. In fact, you know, Kiwikaki hasn't even been mining gas. He just now got his cybernetic score down, and he's just starting to get his first intake of Vespine gas. So he's pushing out with these 6 Zealots, and these 6 Zealots are designed to destroy a hatchery at the 3rd. And really, there's nothing Stephano can do here. You guys can see he's producing 24 lings on the production tab, but they're not going to be out in time. It's going to be very, very close, actually, if he can get those lings to surround these Zealots. But still, I don't know, man. That hatchery is probably going to go down. It's already halfway down in terms of HP. Those 6 Zealots are just doing an immense amount of damage to the hatchery, and Stephano is going to lose his expansion here. And Kiwikaki's attack is a success, and you know, 600 minerals to kill a 300 mineral hatchery, you might not think it's worth it, but consider all this economic damage that Kiwikaki has done to Stephano indirectly. All these Zerglings on the map now, they are useless. He's not going to be able to attack through the front door of a Protoss player on this map, on Shakur's Plateau. It's very, very difficult to do. So Kiwikaki's attack there, really a big success. It's essentially a 600 mineral button. You push it, you destroy a Zerg's 3rd, and you produce it, make him produce all those Zerglings as well. Very devastating. And don't forget, guys, the mining time that Stephano would have got from that hatchery had it not gone down so early. But now we do have 2 Stargates coming out here. Luckily, Stephano is producing an evolution chamber, but he doesn't even really know about the 2 Stargates. So I think the evolution chamber, just to get those upgrades going for his Zerglings and maybe Roaches eventually, but really he has no inkling about this style of play from Kiwikaki, and it's a bit unfortunate. I'm supposing here that Stephano hasn't really seen Kiwikaki play before. This is the first time the two have clashed, and really, Stephano is going to be in a bit of a spot here because those Void Rays are starting to make their way out. Now, thankfully, that Overlord did come in, and it is going to see the 2 Void Rays. So, Stephano here has to rush the anti-air, and he's getting a Hydralist in, and he's getting Spore Crawlers right now, but it's still a bit of a tricky spot. We even have Kiwikaki busting through the front door, killing his own cannon off here. A little interesting. I guess he's planning to move out and grab a 3rd pretty soon here, but he really doesn't have that many gateway units. I would imagine he's going to have to be very careful. He is producing 4 gateways right now, and Warp Gate should be done already. So he'll be able to get those gateway units down pretty quickly. His Void Rays are moving out right now. All the Zerglings running away. And Stephano quickly, as fast as he can, really, just building all the Spore Crawlers he can. And he's got 4 coming up, 3 coming up right now, already 3 established in the main. So it looks like Stephano's anti-air is going to be good here. And that's big. He's already lost his hatchery. He's suffering from as a result of that. You guys can see the supplies here. Pretty dead even, but that's never good for a Zerg. You always want to be ahead of the Protoss. And Stephano running in here with some Zerglings, finding a great opportunity to counterattack. And Kiwikaki deciding to destroy his own Photon Cannon, maybe coming up to bite him in the ass. He's unable to do any damage at the front in the main of Stephano. And Stephano coming up with Roaches now, killing off the cannon, forcing the Void Rays to fall back. He's still got Zerglings inside the mineral line, and he's destroying a bunch of probes. The Roaches, meanwhile, on the ramp are going to get force fielded in, but the damage done by Stephano here is going to propel him right on top in this game, and if anything, he's right back in it, if not ahead. So a great play by Stephano. That was a very well-timed counterattack, and that's one of the things that really separates the good players from the best players. Or I guess I should say the best players from the good players. You know, Stephano just realizing that was a great opportune time to move out. But the thing here is Kiwikaki was able to grab a 3rd amidst all that chaos, and he still kept most of his Void Rays alive. So Stephano's gonna need to get some Hydralisks out here. He's gonna need to make sure he has proper anti-air, but at the same time enough anti-ground as well. Hydralisks are much better dealing with air, I feel like, than they are dealing with the ground forces. Although, you know, Kiwikaki doesn't really have any Zealots. He's only got Sentries and Stalkers, and Hydras are pretty damn good against that. So hopefully for Kiwikaki's sake, he starts to get out some Colossus, and I know he's a big proponent of using that kind of a Death Ball mechanic. He loves to compose his army with Void Rays and Colossus, something that Zerg players have a much more difficult time dealing with. So we do have a move out here, or at least, at the very least, it looks like Kiwikaki just looking to defend the 3rd Nexus, and this is very important for him. He's got to make sure he can maintain 3 bases throughout this game. Stephano pooping creep down to the bottom right, trying to check for that 4th. But very important for a Protoss player to maintain 3 bases against a Zerg on this map. Otherwise, they're just going to fall desperately behind. Stephano might want to think about getting a fourth pretty soon here. He's certainly got map control in the middle, and that's one thing going great for him. Look at that. He's even bringing Spore Crawlers into the middle of the map to enhance his protection here, and of course give him an area to fall back to. He's going to engage here. Force Field's going down, but the Hydralisks are well out of range of the Force Fields, and of course Stephano can just fall back to his Spore Crawlers. Brilliant play here. The creep spread is just amazing from Stephano, and thanks to that brilliant creep spread, Stephano will continue to be able to apply pressure to the front of Kiwikaki's third, and there's not much Kiwikaki can do about that as the creep tumors and Spore Crawlers continue to submerge themselves ever closer to that Protoss third. Kiwikaki here needs to be careful. He really needs to get something going here. I would imagine Colossus is going to be the primary unit. If he can get some Colossus, utilize that high ground ledge overlooking his third, and start to laser away the creep tumors, he can start to gain a little bit more ground, because right now he's kind of backed up against a wall, and that's not a good spot to be in. And we can see a lot of Hydras. Wow, that's so many Hydras on the field right now. Stephano is edging that creep more and more forward, and soon he's going to have two different attack paths. In fact, he may just waltz off the creep here sluggishly. But if he does that, he needs to be careful now. He needs to be very careful with these Hydras. In fact, running in a couple of Roaches and Hydras at the back of the third, and he's going to go ahead and engage here. Kiwikaki doesn't have anything. He's got to bring his sentries back and force field those Hydras. He force fields the Hydras out of the way. Doesn't want those Hydras hitting his main army. And a major attack here from Stephano against Kiwikaki. Very risky, very dangerous. Those Hydras really have nowhere to fall back to because of the lack of creep. So this is a very tense situation here. Is Kiwikaki going to be able to hold? He's warping in more units, continuing to force field the Hydras out of the way, and he may just have enough Void Rays to hold this off. This is incredible. Good control on the Void Rays, keeping him just barely out of range of the Hydralisks. That Spore Crawler kind of providing it's like an offensive Spore Crawler, kind of providing the offense for the Zerg player, and Stephano just continuing to push here. He's still producing more Hydras. This is unbelievable attack here from Stephano. 12 more Hydras on the way. Stephano falling back behind the Spore Crawler at the front. The creep spreading ever more closer to that Nexus, and it looks like Stephano is unable to break Kiwikaki. That was a brilliant hold by the Protoss player, by the poker player Kiwikaki, just on the bare skin of his teeth. He barely held that off. I can't believe he did that. That was incredible, just incredible hold. And look at him even chrono boosting those Void Rays in the back, but the attack isn't over yet. It looks like Stephano really doesn't want Kiwikaki to get this third, and I can definitely sympathize with that kind of a mindset. So he is streaming in more forces here, even forcing Kiwikaki to build a couple of cannons at the front. We're looking at Kiwikaki's first-person player cam right here, and you guys can just kind of see all the things that he's doing on the left there. Warp complete, Gateway complete, Void Rays complete. Now we're looking at Stephano's vision, just to give you guys a little bit of depth here as to how this game is going. But just incredible macro and micro from both these players. Now, Stephano, he's invested a lot into these attacks, and the one thing that's really smart about that is even if he doesn't achieve the goal of killing the Nexus, he achieves the indirect goal of trading with the Protoss army. And from a Zerg mindset, it's very important not to let that Protoss ball max out on 3 bases. So Stephano's doing a great job of just trading. At this point in the game, it's still very even. I don't see any players ahead. And Kiwikaki really just wants to just hunker down and play defensively here. Play on 3 bases, get his death ball going. I would love to see some Colossus, though. I'm really confused. He's just now getting his robotics facilities, and he's going to go ahead and push here. I don't agree with this push. It's right on the creep. The Zerg player has a better concave. Kiwikaki's going to have to fall back and think a little bit more about that. I don't think that engagement is going to go in his favor. Now, Stephano with a new burst of motivation here, thinking about going around the side once again. Super risky play, but he's going to commit to it, and that's a lot of Hydralisks. And Kiwikaki, again, finding himself without Colossi. So the Void Rays forced to deal with the Hydras on their own, and a lot of Void Rays are going down now. They are in range of those Hydralisks. There's only one Void Ray left. Probes are running off the mineral field to attack now, and oh no, this could be it for Kiwikaki. There's just too many Hydras. Stephano with a brilliant attack. His Hydras at +1, nearly about to finish +2. They force a GG out of Kiwikaki. Brilliant play from Stephano. Now, guys, this is a best-of-3 series. That was just insane, but that was a best of 3. This is a best of 3 series. This is the first game, and I've been told that this series, like I said before, one of the most epic games that was broadcasted from IPL3. So I'm very excited to bring this to you guys. There are actually Zerglings inside there. How did those Zerglings get inside the third? Well, let's go ahead and do a little bit of rewinding just to explore. We're gonna have a Discovery Channel moment right here. So anyways, that was game 1 of this series. Just a brilliant play, really, from Stephano. I just love the play, and there we go. So he ran some Zerglings into the natural during his attack. Really smart play here, and he even brought those Zerglings back up into the main. Not much that Kiwikaki could do. In fact, so he ran his probes away, and that's why the probes, I guess, were kind of fighting next to those Hydras. They weren't actually there because they wanted to fight. They were just fleeing from the Zerglings, assaulting them inside the main, only to run into a bunch of Hydras clawing them to death. So not a best spot for Kiwikaki. But that's game 1, guys. We're gonna go ahead and move on to game 2. Very exciting series thus far. So hopefully you guys stay tuned. Once again, make sure you guys check out IPL3. And if you guys get a chance, follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm at HD Starcraft. All right, let's go ahead and go to game 2, guys. Stay tuned. HD signing out.